Welcome to BAYFOCUS. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I'm always happy when you do. You want to stay tuned. We have a great program planned for you. And this is going to be such a great opening of the show as well, because you're going to get to see, I know you're just excited about this as I am, Winter the dolphin from the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. I'm going to tell you about that in just a moment. We have Brooke Larson with us to fill us in, but also a little bit later in the show, an incredible organization that is helping women who are in battles with cancer battles. It's called Women with Purpose, and how they help is unbelievable. You want to stay tuned to hear this, but we're going to start today without further ado. Brooke Larson, once again, our reporter for BAYFOCUS and CTN. We had an awesome assignment for you this time.
Oh my goodness.
All right, you got to tell us, where did you go?
This one was such a joy. We went to the Clearwater Marine Aquarium in Clearwater, Florida, and focused mainly on their sea turtle conservation program. So what you'll see today is just a really cool overview of all that they do for sea turtles. Right now, it's the next couple months are when the sea turtles are coming up, they're nesting, and the babies are hatching, and they're going out into the ocean. And so their program is really focusing on making sure those nests are protected, that there's not anything that's disrupting that. And so they do a fabulous job about the conservation of that program. You know, and then that was, again, you went out to a specific event that they had, and we're going to be able to see this in just a moment, to really talk about the sea turtle conservation. But then you also went to the Marine Aquarium and talked about their whole program. We don't want to give the entire report away, but what they do, and we know this, the movies, with Dolphin Tale, but that's a whole program that they do, and you're going to be able to see. Like I said, I want to make sure people stay tuned to see Winter the Dolphin. You will, but it's a whole thing that they do to help people. Oh yeah, it's a very great program. It is. Okay, so we don't want to give it all we want to go, but Brooke, thank you so much again. She worked really hard on this piece. She's always out in the community, and I want to put a plug in too at this point. If you have something that you think would be great for BAYFOCUS to cover, some unique, not only ministries, but just things that are happening in the community of interest to all of us, like this piece today. You can contact myself or Brooke Larson, but let's take a look at what she found out with the Clearwater Marine Aquarium.
We're here at Clearwater Beach celebrating Sea Turtle Awareness Day that's put on every year by the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. Located in Clearwater, Florida, the Clearwater Marine Aquarium has a mission to provide the most advanced care for rescued marine life. Visited by thousands every day, the aquarium's goal is for guests to leave inspired by marine life and the environment. And Sea Turtle Awareness Day is one way they do this.
Today is a really cool day, Sea Turtle Awareness Day, and we're having it in May right now. And the reason we're having it right now is because sea turtle nesting season is beginning right now. And this is a big beach cleanup. Beach debris is a big problem with our sea turtle nesting season. Debris can actually get in the way of the turtles as they come up to nest. So today's a big day, kind of launching sea turtle nesting season. We call it Sea Turtle Awareness Day. Just driving awareness to the community on the fact that sea turtles are now coming up to beach and to nest. Be aware of that.
Every year, these sea turtles return home to nests on the beach, and the aquarium does all that it can do to make that process a success. That includes their extensive sea turtle conservation program that patrols approximately 13 miles of beach along North Pinellas County.
My name is Lindsey Flynn. I'm the supervisor of the Sea Turtle Conservation Program at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. So we patrol our beaches 7 days a week, and we use ATVs and 4x4 trucks to locate crawl tracks that the females leave behind. We have about 24 people that help us. That's made up of staff, volunteers, and interns. They get up really early every morning because we start patrolling around sunrise, and so they're a very peppy morning crew, and they help us every day. For our nests, we mark them off with nest stakes so people know that they're there, so they don't walk over them. And then we'll monitor them every morning, so we check them for any sort of activity, either human activity or hatching activity.
Sea Turtle Awareness Day plays a big part in this process because it educates the general public about what they can do to help.
The main things that they can do is pick up trash, fill in holes on the beach and knock down sandcastles, because that creates a free, flat beach for our sea turtles to nest. Trash that makes it to the ocean can unfortunately become not a good food item for our adults and hatchlings. They might think it's a jellyfish and they might eat it. So picking up that trash means it's not going to make it to the ocean. And anytime they see a nesting female or a hatchling, to call the FWC Wildlife Alert Hotline to let them know what's going on is very helpful as well.
And over 1,000 volunteers came out to help to do just that.
We find that the amount of litter and trash on the beach when we come every time to take the kids is just really a problem. A lot of the single-use plastics end up on the shore here, and it has an impact on our wildlife and our local wildlife, and we'd like to have the ecosystems intact and around for our children and their children.
It really means hope for the future for us. We want only 1 in 1,000 hatchlings make it into adulthood, so it's very critical that we help all these nests hatch successfully. So whenever we get the opportunity to see those hatchlings make it to the water, it really means that we might see those later in life.
The aquarium also offers an extensive educational program that includes hands-on experience to students.
We want to inspire future generations to be better caretakers for the marine environment. So we go out to schools, we bring schools in, we go out to community events like today where we go out in the public and show people what it means to be a better caretaker of the environment.
Teaching them now as kids to be good stewards of the environment, I think will help make them good stewards as adults.
Alongside of educating the general public, the aquarium has the Inspire program that hosts children and adults with disabilities that have been inspired by the animals in the aquarium.
So being an animal hospital, we're a little unique and all of our animals are rescued. They all have a rescued story, so some of them are disabled, some of them have special needs. So a lot of kids that have the same struggles really connect with these animals, especially Winter's story of losing her tail. She not only lost her tail, but she was fitted with a prosthetic. She's thriving, she's doing amazing. What we say around here is, if Winter can, I can. So a lot of kids take that message to heart after seeing the Dolphin Tale movies, and their dream is to come here and meet her. Ellie Chalice is a 13-year-old girl from England. She was born perfectly healthy, and then when she was a couple months old, she caught a deadly strand of meningitis, which caused her to go septic and then lose her arms and legs. She began watching the Dolphin Tale movies when she was young and saw this dolphin that lost her tail. And Ellie made that connection instantly. Wow, if this dolphin can thrive without her tail, maybe I can do some things without my arms and legs that I never thought of. And then told her dad, I'm going to learn to swim. If Winter can swim without her tail, I'm going to swim without my arms and legs. Not only did she learn to swim, but her swimming times are so incredible that she's on the Paralympic team for England and is going to the 2020 Paralympics for swimming. There's obviously the mission of rescuing and rehabbing and releasing marine life, but on top of that, we're really inspiring the human spirit and changing lives.
Reporting for BAYFOCUS in Clearwater, I'm Brooke Larson.
Well, it really makes you want to go to the Clearwater Marine Aquarium, and we're so grateful that everything they do to rescue animals and to help people. And special thanks to the Clearwater Marine Aquarium for hosting CTN and BAYFOCUS, and good job for Brooke too. What a great piece. Well, we're going to change directions a little bit on BAYFOCUS right now, and I told you earlier in the program that we have an organization we want to highlight today called Women with Purpose, and I love the name of that. And we have the founder of this organization, Jane Morse Swett, with us today. Jane, good to have you with us. Thank you so much for coming.
I appreciate it.
I know it's a little tough following Winter the dolphin.
Yes,
but we
it is.
will do our
I always
best.
have competition.
You always have competition. Yeah, that's probably a first, though, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But you know, one of the things I love to highlight on BAYFOCUS is groups that are really trying. They see a need. They see a situation that crops up with people, and they go, wow, we need to do something to fill this. I want you to take our viewers on a little bit of your journey and how you started Women with Purpose and why.
Well, first of all, I have to excuse my throat.
Yeah.
I've been going through the same thing.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So I get it.
So Women with Purpose was actually started about 6 years ago. But before that, for most of my married life was living overseas. And I have 3 children. They were all born overseas except my son. And but he was just a toddler when we went overseas. And long story short, my husband died. So the kids and I came back to the States, And because we were in education, we weren't making any money.
Yeah.
And so when we came back to the States, there was no money, there was no insurance, there was really nothing. But with determination and hard work, I decided that we were going to get through this. And I was hired by Dr. Jeff Panessa. And so I started working in this oncology office. And with oncology patients, you know that you see them almost on a daily basis. If not a daily basis, it's a weekly basis. From a weekly basis, it may be a monthly basis. And what I found was so many of these patients were struggling financially, struggling emotionally, everything. And so after a period of time, we started support groups. Then we started caregiver support groups. And then we started patient appreciation picnics. We just had a wonderful gig going on, if you will. And then we started a foundation, Gulf Coast Oncology Foundation. And with that foundation, we were helping patients that needed non-medical financial assistance. Well, then we were bought out, taken over, whatever, by another company, and I stayed with them for a year and a half, and I just felt like they weren't using the funds that we had raised the way that my philosophy was. So after a year and a half, I quit.
Yeah.
My blood pressure was going crazy. I was getting bigger. My eye was twitching. It was like, okay, enough is enough. And so after about a week of being at home, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I decided, I know what we're going to do. I had a core of women that were with me, and we decided that we would start Women with Purpose. Now, what we have, we're not as big as what the other company is, so our focus is a smaller focus, and we also, it's not just women, it's families.
Okay.
If you're helping a woman, you're helping the entire family. I've had men that have reached out to me that have been single fathers. Of course, the majority of our clients, patients, are single moms. And it's even very interesting in this day and age that a lot of our patients as well have been grandparents who have been caring for their children's
that's
children.
That's a reality of life these days, definitely.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, what are, when you saw this need, what are some of the issues that people are running into, when that all of a sudden they need help?
Well, sadly, once you may have insurance, but that insurance is not going to cover all your co-pays.
Right.
So a copay can be anywhere from $50 to $60. And no matter what, every time you walk into that office, you have to pay that copay.
Yeah.
Don't like it. And then the next thing is your insurance isn't going to pay your house payment. Yeah. And a lot of people end up not being able to work. I've seen a lot of husbands walk out the door because they just can't handle it. I've seen a lot of employers letting people go. I've also seen a lot of good people that they schedule their appointments around their work schedule so that they can be up and ready to go on Monday morning, but maybe take Friday off to get their chemo, to get them, their chemotherapy. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Life
altering.
It's life altering, but I'll tell you what, with all the support groups that I facilitated, so many of these folks said they were okay that they had cancer because it turned their whole thinking around. And I understand that. I get it. When you really go through something that is so emotionally upsetting, afraid you're not going to survive, and then you end up not only surviving, but you thrive. And that's what happens to many of us, I think, when we go through something like this.
Yeah, and today too, there's many cancers that are curable,
Right.
you know, and either curable or they can get them into remission, but it's getting to that point. Okay, so you mentioned, of course, like single moms, but even families, and so all right, they start running into this difficulty, all those things that could happen, like you said, job changes, all those kinds of stuff. How does Women with Purpose come alongside? What do you do to help them?
Well, everything is non-medical. We help with their rents, their mortgages, utilities, car insurance, car repairs, car payments. All of my members will collect gift cards, gas cards, and public or food cards are vital to helping these folks. I have so many clients that, Jane, have you got a gas card for me? Because they need to get to Moffett. I have a young woman right now, she's 38. She has 2 little boys, absolutely adorable. I got a letter from her doctor, because we always ask for documentation, saying the doctor had said she had a limited time to live. Well, yeah, that was the first time I've gotten a letter like that. And for me, this was absolutely gut-wrenching. And it turns out that, you know, her limited time of living has inspired her, if you will, for lack of a better word, to really turn her life around. And every day she makes a point of helping others, but also she's very involved with her church. She's very positive. And so much of that depends on how you're going to thrive is your mentality. We've helped her with rent. We've gotten the boys into summer camp. Her church is very supportive. She's just a wonderful young woman. And
well, you know, you can do one or two things when you get a diagnosis like that. You know, and curl up in a ball, and she chose to, or to live your life.
Yeah.
And she has reached out to your organization and living her life and thriving. But that is one thing. Now, I want to make sure our viewers understand. Women with Purpose itself is a nonprofit, not designated as a specific ministry, but it is a nonprofit that you go out and you help people from all walks of life, all belief systems. However, you do have people that are Christians that are involved. And if somebody's watching, and not only could they access your help, like they're walking through something themselves with cancer and they're struggling and they didn't even know you existed and how you could possibly help them, but also you rely on volunteers as well. And how could people help you with volunteering?
well, we're all volunteers.
Yeah.
Nobody makes any money. We're all we are a 501c3.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, what we're always looking for is money.
Yeah.
And our volunteers, we all are out and about in the community, spreading the word. I don't think a lot of people know about us.
Yeah. You were new to me, and I have been doing this show for 18 years, and I had not heard of that. This was one of the most creative things. You were referred to me, and I went, wow. Talk about people that are helping. I want to, we'll come back and talk a little bit more, but before we do, we're talking about different examples of people and kind of bring it to our viewers who some of the people are that work with you. We have on video a little bit of a testimonial, a young lady named Amanda. Let's take a look at what she said about Women with Purpose.
The thing that was most meaningful was that I made an outreach call to Women with Purpose, and there was a connection immediately. There wasn't a process or red tape or an application that got in the way of connecting with someone. The help was available immediately, and it was a personal connection. There was someone who was ready to listen and talk about things that were important and overwhelming at the time, dealing with my husband's cancer and being a caregiver and feeling overwhelmed at the time. Someone who had been through it and could relate and could give words of survival and wisdom.
Okay, that's another side of it, the caregiver side. How are you come alongside them as well?
We do the best that we can. Our focus is on the patient, but having been a caregiver, and I think most everybody at one time in their life is going to be a caregiver, and it takes a lot out of you. It's 24/7, especially if they're living with you, and you know, sometimes you need somebody to just come in and do the laundry and give you a break. So we've managed to do that. We've managed to help with transportation. Most of the time, though, our biggest issues of helping are just to keep these folks in their homes.
Yeah.
I had one lady tell me that she would have been homeless had it not been for us. And that is so amazing and so heart-wrenching to think that that would happen.
Well, this, you know, you just look at the adding up of the additional costs.
Right.
And even, you mentioned earlier, even the best plans of trying to work around your job, say you work and you try to get your treatments at a certain time and make sure it fits your work schedule, you can't be 100% guaranteed how you're going to react to those treatments.
Right.
You may not be able to get into work the day you think you can get back. So there's lost wages, lost time. All these things are translate into financial numbers. You are, you have some, you're open to people supporting you. You have some churches that support you. Obviously, we're a Christian network, so I want to get the word out to the faith community that you could use support there. You have businesses, right? You're open to all of that.
We have a program called Partners for a Purpose, and what we do, it's a $250 donation, and we put you on our website. We put you onto our flyers for events that we have, and we also will mention you in our Facebook. We have a Facebook and also my Facebook. I use more for Women with Purpose than personal. But there's also, you know, there's so many ways that people can help. And one of the things too, if a patient is on food stamps, they cannot buy paper products. They cannot buy personal hygiene items. So those are things that we collect as well and help our patients.
So yeah, you forget that with the food, it has to be targeted to specific food. With that, so there's always needs on this. Okay, we're talking about some of the ways that that people can help. I want to bring up too at this point that financial donation, just writing a check, right?
Oh, please.
Figured that would be a big hit.
Yes.
Yes, from anyone.
Please, you can go through our, we have PayPal, so you can make a donation through PayPal as well. But, you know, that's how we survive. If we don't have the support of the community, we're not going to survive. We're not going to be able to help. And we live in such a wonderful, gorgeous area, and we're known for being such a beautiful area. Let's be known as a community that gives back to one another, that helps our neighbors.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I had not heard of this, that you come alongside and actually help with these nuts and bolts little. I watched this. You know, I watched this myself. We've had cancers touched my family. I lost a brother a few years ago and a sister-in-law recently. My mother, different things. I saw the drain, what it does. They were all fortunate to have insurance, but there are always incidentals. There are always things, and particularly I'm thought of if you ever were single going through this, would be just
devastating.
You know, absolutely, a single mom like the one you mentioned. All right, and a closing note. What makes you do this? I mean, what do you get out of this? When this is a lot of work for you to do this, and how does it inspire you to keep going?
Well, I've been there. Been there from the standpoint of being a single mom for a period of time. Not, like I said, when I came back to the States, we didn't have anything. I started from scratch. And built a life here with my children and have made some wonderful friends. And I'm just very, very blessed that I'm healthy, that I can do this. And it's a mission. It's a mission. It's a passion. It's I love being able to help people and to help these young women.
That is a great way to end it. I love it, the mission and the passion, and particularly that you have been there so you understand the struggle. Okay, we're going to be right back. Thank you so much for sharing all that today, Jane.
Thanks
and
for
you're gonna
having
see
me.
how, yeah, this is awesome. You're going to see how you can reach women with purpose. We'll be right back.
Hometown Happenings, a CTN exclusive.
Ballet Magnificat, a Christian ballet touring company, performed at the historic Polk Theater in Lakeland, Florida.
Magnificat is to magnify the Lord in Latin. And so our desire, and it's in our vision statement and our mission statement, is to glorify God first and to reach the widest audience possible. To play a part in the bigger dance world and in the bigger world as a whole is to do things not only with a heart of worship for the Lord, but also with technical excellence. We just believe that when there's nothing to distract, when the technique is beautiful and the dancers are strong and healthy and vibrant dancers, that when they worship, it comes through so much more God glorifying. So when people say they can't say anything about the Lord because they say, wow, they really know what they're doing.
What's happening in your hometown?
Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's program. I know we certainly enjoyed highlighting Clearwater Marine Aquarium earlier in the program. Thanks again to them for allowing us to take our cameras in there, and for Brooke for putting the terrific piece together that we showed you. If you can support them as well, they do so much great work in rescuing animals. But then also Women with Purpose. I am always in awe of organizations like this that see a need and they just organize out of when Jane brought this together out of her own experience working in an oncology doctor's office, seeing so many needs in the cancer community, those fighting cancer. So if you can help Women with Purpose, write that check, that would be awesome. I also want to say, keep us in the loop, BAYFOCUS in the loop on things happening here in the Tampa Bay, Central Florida area, Lakeland, down into Sarasota, all those areas. I need to hear from you. Check us out on social media. I am so glad you tuned in this week. We will see you next week. May God richly bless you.